Stephanie, highlighter, yeah.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 5th, 2018. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards in the township website.
Thank you. May I have a roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilman Fosman.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
President DeYoung.
Here.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite up Girl Scout Troop 1782 to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Girls, come on up. Everybody please rise.
Ready? Pledge allegiance to the
Now a moment of silence. Girls. Thank you. Thanks, girls.
Thank you, girls. Great job, ladies.
Madam Clerk, please accept and file the reports.
I will.
Thank you. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the February 13th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mumolo, second by Councilwoman Zapsik. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite up the mayor to swear in our new officers. Chief?
Good evening. Tonight we're here to swear in and add to our ranks 4 new police officers. 4 individuals who join our family of law enforcement who have made the commitment to protect and serve the citizens of Brick Township. The hiring process is not an easy one. The Brick Township Police Department takes pride in always selecting the best. So I commend you for making it this far. 2 of these officers come to us with experience. They will enter into the coach program and learn what it takes to become one of Brick's finest. And 2 of these individuals will on Friday enter the police academy. It will be difficult, and at times you may ask yourself, why did I do this? But nothing is more gratifying than graduation day and that feeling knowing what you have accomplished. These individuals are entering into a career which is unlike any other, a noble career that they can be proud of. To the friends and families of our recruits, these individuals you can be proud of. Their being here tonight is an accomplishment, and their choice to serve and protect the citizens of this community is a testament to the type of individuals that they are. I would like to congratulate our new officers, and I welcome you to our department and look forward to working with you. And as always, I must thank the mayor, the council, and the business administrator for your unwavering support of our Next is John Stevenson, badge 291. John graduated from Manasquan High School in 2004 and received his associate's degree in automotive technology from Brookdale Community College. John has worked for the Brick Township Police Department as a Special 1 officer since May of 2015 and also works as a lifeguard at the Atlantic Club. John will also be attending the Ocean County Police Academy on March 16th. John is the cousin of Brick Police Officer Tyler Stevenson, badge number 278. He is here today with his family, father Patrick and mother Sandra.
Other way around. Yeah, it is. Wrong hand.
I, John Stevenson, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of police officer according to the best of my ability. And I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in the state on the authority of the people, so help me God.
Next is Officer Scott Mesmer, number 292. Scott is a lifelong resident of Brick Township and graduated from Brick Memorial High School in 2011. Scott received his associate's degree in criminal justice from Ocean County College in 2013, and after attended and graduated from Rutgers University, receiving his bachelor's degree in political science. In 2014, Scott graduated from Ocean County Special Academy and worked for the Point Pleasant Police Department from 2014 to 2015. In 2016, he was hired by the New Jersey Transit Police Department and attended and graduated from the Cape May County Police Academy. Scott has also worked part-time for the Brick Township Police Department as an EMT since 2014. Scott, already being a police officer, will not need to attend the academy and will start in our field training program immediately. Scott is here tonight with his parents, James and Diane, brother Mike and his sister-in-law Gina, and girlfriend Jacqueline.
I, Scott Mesmer, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of police officer according to the best of my ability. And I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
Next is Stephen Bailey, badge number 293. Okay, Stephen is a lifelong resident of Brick Township and graduated from Brick Memorial High School in 2011. Stephen received his associate's degree in science from Ocean County College in 2014. After graduation, Stephen attended and graduated from Rowan University and received his bachelor's degree in law and criminal justice. Stephen began his law enforcement career as a parking enforcement officer and then became a Special One for the Point Pleasant Beach Police Department. In 2015, he was hired by the Manahawkin Police Department as a Special One, and in 2017 graduated from the Ocean County Police Academy as a Special Two. Having graduated from the Police Academy, Stephen will begin the field training program immediately. Today he is here with his family, Father Don, Mother Karen, and two brothers, Jason, Jordan, and his girlfriend, Caitlin.
I, Stephen Bailey, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and unjustly perform all duties of the office of police officer according to the best of my abilities. I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help me God. Thank you.
What?
Sure. All right, that concludes our ceremony, but if I can get the four recruits up here.
And the rest of our officers in the room, don't go anywhere because there's a family picture after the picture with the recruits. Thank you. Yeah. We'll just stand up in the back so we don't have to go up and down.
Oh, I just like threw my chair at you.
We're gonna go.
We're center. Thank you very much. If the officers and their families want to make an escape, now is the time.
What? What do you need? Post-its? What do you need? I brought the cake. No, I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. So,
We are now going to start our budget presentations. We will be taking questions after the last presentation. Today, we will have administration, Joanne Bergen, our business administrator, and the police department, and Chief Riccio. So, Mrs. Bergen?
Thank you very much. Apologize in advance for being long-winded. There's a lot to report on today, so thanks for your patience. On behalf of all the department and division heads represented in this report, thanks to our mayor and members of the Township Council for your ongoing support. I will go through the division budgets that are included under administration. There are 11 budgets and hundreds of line items. In my presentation, I will highlight any significant changes. Most of the budget line items have remained the same. However, some changes were made taking into account previous year's spending or those required based on collective bargaining agreements. I'll first start with administration. Administration staff includes 5 full-time employees. In 2018, we are experiencing a slight increase in salary and wages and a 12% decrease in operating expenses as a result of our efforts to use electronic systems as opposed to print materials. Administration is the front line for all in-person and telephone inquiries that come to the township. For example, in 2017, the staff handled 39,611 telephone calls. They also track and ensure follow-up on all email inquiries that come to the website. In 2017, we handled 37,629 cases through our Citizens Relationship Management System. Public relations, marketing, and special events are also handled by administration, including monitoring and updating the township's website and social media sites, including Facebook and Twitter, preparation and dissemination of press releases, and oversight of the township's PEG channel, BTV. We have won several awards for our efforts to keep the public informed, including a Best Web and Social Media Award. Our work includes creating and posting bulletin board slides and preparing and posting all content, creating advertisements and promotional materials for various departments, preparing and disseminating email updates from the township, photography at township events, and the continued implementation of a seamless document program for online forms. Staff also manages the Buy and Brick program, which brought in credits towards individual taxes to nearly $56,000, an increase of more than $10,000 from last year. Currently, there are 24 municipalities participating in this program. Brick Township is number 1 in terms of the number of participating businesses, with 57, which is up from 31 at this time last year. We have increased the number of active card holders in 2017 by 1,100 and have more than 500 families registered and more than 8,500 individuals registered. We also assist in events such as the Green Fair. Administration also manages constituent relations and publications such as advertisements, promotional materials, recycling brochures, event flyers, and any other publications as needed. Administration took over the design and creation of our recreation brochure and senior booklet. reducing the overall cost by bringing the design in-house. Administration staff also provide support to municipal boards and commissions. The next budgets I'll discuss are Mayor's Office and Council. The Office of the Mayor includes our mayor and 2 full-time staff members. Mayor Ducey maintains office hours each week. His active schedule includes regular meetings with groups and organizations within town, and he hosts many initiatives to engage the public, such as a tremendously popular Facebook Live and regular attendance in council meetings. The mayor has launched a teen advisory committee, and with their feedback and support, this past year, Lounge 270, a more hip name for teen center, was opened as a place for teens to connect with peers and mentors in a safe, positive environment. He continues to meet regularly with the Senior Advisory Committee and readily accepts all invitations to speak at older adult communities, social service organizations, schools, businesses, and wherever else he is invited. He promotes the town's interests and advocates for our needs at the state and federal level. The mayor participates in the Ocean County Mayors Association, the New Jersey League of Municipalities, and the New Jersey Conference of Mayors. The salary and wage budget for the mayor's office increased slightly, with a $12,700 increase in the operating budget based on our plan to send out the township newsletter twice per year instead of once, and the mayor's attendance at the Conference of Mayors. In terms of the council budget, the salary and wage budget remains flat with a decrease in the operating budget. Council members are very active in strategic planning and have working subcommittees including redevelopment, recreation, economic development, land use, public works, public safety, and business and finance. They regularly attend community events and represent the township at a variety of events and activities. The next report is for our purchasing department. It is the responsibility of the Division of Purchasing and Contracting to conduct all purchasing, the acquisition of goods and/or services in accordance with the local public contracts law. The purchasing department's salary and wage budget increased 13%. The operating budget for 2018 did not increase from 2017. In 2017, purchasing processed approximately 5,800 purchase orders, more than 48 bids for goods and services, 25 professional services bids, 11 capital project bids, 10 national cooperative contracts, 2 competitive contracting bids, 15 miscellaneous resolutions, 55 formal requests for proposals, and 5 auctions for police motorcycles, solar, renewable energy credits, police vehicles, DPW vehicles, and parks equipment. These tasks are accomplished by an office staff of 5. Purchasing also oversees the central receiving mailroom, which includes 1 additional staff member. Our mail clerk has processed over 91,000 pieces of mail, plus delivery to the post office for bulk mail projects, the newsletter, delinquent notices, etc. The mailroom clerk delivers mail, packages, and supplies throughout the complex, and all off-site locations manages the central receiving and stockroom. Postage encompasses almost 95% of the purchasing budget and includes all department and division mailings. Estimate and final tax bills, Chapter 75 mailing, property value notification, delinquent tax notices, CRM mailing, regular priority, and overnight postage. 4 staff members are certified in the area of public procurement through the Rutgers Continuing Education Program. 1 member is currently enrolled in the same program, and 1 member will be starting the program in May. Human Resources is next. The HR department, comprised of 6 full-time employees, manages all township employees, currently 429 full-time and 164 part-time seasonal. During the summer months, they coordinate all hiring and employee management for the approximately 140 additional employees. The salary and wage budget increased by 1.2%, with a 13% decrease in the operating budget. HR handles employee training, including safety, the Employee Assistance Program, and other workplace trainings. They create and institute HR policies and maintain compliance with state and federal laws. All health benefits are handled by Human Resources. They coordinate with our brokers for contract proposals, renewals, rate changes, and compliance with federal guidelines, reporting, and fee submission, as well as resolve claim issues. They process all liability claims with our insurance company and ensure compliance with safety regulations and vendor insurance. Highlights and accomplishments from 2017 include updates and revisions to the employee handbook, comprehensive supervisor training, anti-harassment training, a blood drive, and the launching of several wellness initiatives, including team activity challenges, smoking cessation, and several fitness challenges. Special projects for 2018 include contract review and negotiations, HR data consolidation, an employee health fair, supervisor training, updating the safety manual, educational meetings for employees close to retirement, and a benefits audit for current employees and retirees. The next department for discussion is the Office of the Township Clerk. The clerk's office is comprised of 6 motivated, knowledgeable staff members, including our township clerk, assistant clerk, the council secretary, and 3 clerks. 2 staff members hold registered municipal clerk and certified municipal registrar certifications, and every staff member is a notary public. 1 staff member is fluent in Spanish. The Division of Archives has a staff of 3 full-time employees. Our archivist holds state and federal records management certification. The salary and wage budget increased 10% with an additional staff member assigned to archives. The operating budget decreased 27% thanks to the completion of a large microfilm project. The township's clerk's office issues various licensing, which generated more than $356,000 in revenue for 2018. Vital Statistics, which includes all records of births, deaths, and marriages, brought in $43,783. The operating budget for the clerk's office totals $48,950, down 28% from what was appropriated last year, with expert services being the largest line item. In 2017, our archivist was able to complete a major backfiling imaging project, including construction permits and tax collector property records cards. Our archivist would like to continue that project this year, specifically tax collector property record cards. We do not have the resources to do this project in-house, and we have secured a contract with RICO USA, who is on state contract. Advertising and the codification of the township code are also a significant part of the budget. Legislation is what drives those 2 line items. The operating budget for elections is the printing and mailing of the sample ballots for the primary election. Next is our finance department. The finance department consists of 5 full-time employees, 1 of whom is dedicated to payroll. The salary and wage budget increased 13%, and our operating budget decreased 14%, thanks to reductions in conferences and printing. The finance department signs all purchase orders, 5,233 created in 2017, and checks. Staff creates the current, temporary, and adopted and capital fund budgets, posts budget at the beginning of the year, and does all transfers and closeout procedures at year-end, creating all pertinent resolutions to process those accordingly. They also tie general ledger appropriations and reserves to budget reports, balance all interfund, keep a cash flow analysis monthly, and ties all cash receipts and disbursements in entry Excel books to posted reports. They also send out the W-9s and the W-2s at year-end. The finance department keeps a township fixed asset inventory that is added to or deleted from as needed. They create cancel resolution for grants, create Chapter 159s as needed, and enter all new grants into Edmonds. At this time, there are 40 open grants. Our CFO analyzes monies in our capital budget to keep track of when a band sale is needed and when to roll into bonds, creates supplemental debt statements, creates cancel resolutions when needed, inputs capital chargebacks, creates and signs all certificates of availability of funds, and enters all new capital ordinances into Edmonds. At this time, there are 31 open ordinances. They perform 38 bank reconciliations monthly, analyze approximately 900 open escrow accounts, analyze 172 electronic accounts, 55 water sewer accounts, 24 natural gas accounts, and 28 telecommunication accounts monthly. They complete all aspects of payroll processing, printing and stuffing of checks, implement payroll into Edmonds, make changes to employees' files that will need to be reflected in salary wage, such as yearly increase, longevity, and steps, healthcare contribution, pensions, direct deposit information, court subpoena, garnishments, etc. Thanks to their hard work, the township was able to maintain its Moody's Financial Services AA2 rating on all of its bond, long-term financing issues during the 2016, based upon its financial strength and fiscal practices, as well as MIG1 rating. On its notes, short-term financing, which is the highest rating offered by Moody's. In addition, the township received an increase in its bond rating from Standard & Poor's to a AA. This allows the township to borrow and issue its debt at the best possible rates, which saves the taxpayers interest costs year in and year out, while addressing the capital needs of the township to maintain infrastructure and maintain service levels to our residents. Next up is data processing, IT. The IT department staff of 6 full-time employees supports approximately 70 servers, including 30 virtual servers, 500 PCs and laptops, 75 PDAs, otherwise known as smartphones, 200 printers, including the e-ticket printers and police vehicles, 30 scanners and copiers, 4 high-availability environments, the police dispatch system, township CRM RFA system, phone system for town hall, and the conversion of about a dozen servers to a clustered virtual environment. These 12 servers have now been reduced to run on 2 physical servers from 12 and can fail over to the other half if one fails. These high availability environments greatly reduce any downtime. The salary and wage budget increased 4.8%, and the operating budget decreased by 1.1%. The township has more than 40 systems used by the different departments at Town Hall. The IT department completes software updates on all township servers and keeps all desktop computers current with a 5-year replacement schedule. We are currently in the process of upgrading our email and CRM systems to the latest versions. The IT department is also in the process of installing security cameras at Herbersville Park, Angela Hibbert Park, and Hank Waltonowski Park, as well as additional cameras at Traders Cove Marina and the Drum Point Sports Complex. On a regular basis, IT department adds functionality to our in-house CRM RFA system, which is exclusive to Brick Township and exceeds the abilities of every other program we've reviewed. The next report covers both tax collector and tax assessor. The tax collector's office has a staff of 9. The salary and wage budget increased 9%, and the operating budget decreased 2%. The tax office duties and responsibilities are directed pursuant to state statutes, specifically Title 54. Our tax levy for 2017 was in excess of $225 million, with a 98.45% of collection, which is slightly above the 2016 rate of 98.24%. The end of 2017 brought specific challenges to the office with the federal tax code changes. The change spurred property owners to prepay their 2018 taxes in an attempt to minimize tax deductions. The last 4 working days of the year brought in more than $8 million in prepayments. During 2017, the tax collector's office collected more than $237 million through the office, $151 million in checks, $83 million in electronic payments, and more than $2 million in cash payments. In addition to regular collections, we sent out nearly 1,500 delinquent notices, completed more than 2,900 senior tax freeze applications, handled more than 23,000 phone calls, and processed nearly $1 million in tax appeals. The largest expense in this budget is printing, which is unchanged from last year. We are budgeting for the printing of adjusted homestead benefit credit, estimated third quarter final regular and added assessment bills. The next notable expense is for advertisements, which has been reduced slightly for tax sale, assignment, and foreclosure ads. All other operational costs have remained relatively flat. The tax assessor's office, with a staff of 8, oversees almost 32,000 residential and 800 commercial properties with a total assessed value of over $10 billion. Last year, they placed more than $56 million of new construction on our tax list. Part of their responsibilities include not only maintaining a record of the specifics about a property, but also monitoring any deed recordings to assure that any changes in ownership are made in our public record. Implementing any changes to the tax map is also on the tax assessor's responsibility. Brick Township has almost 3,400 residents receiving senior citizen or veteran property tax deductions, which they also manage on behalf of the Division of Taxation on a yearly basis. Salary and wage budget for the tax assessor increased 2.5%, and the operating budget increased 1.3%. This is due to the increased cost of classes for the staff. Seniors. The Brick Senior Center provides services to a growing population of older adults and their families within our community. The staff at the Senior Center offer a vast number of programs to encourage a healthy lifestyle, independence, and provide information and referrals to social services programs that may have a positive impact on their lives. The office consists of 6 staff members. The salary and wage budget increased 9%, and the operating budget decreased less than 1%. In 2017, Brick Seniors provided services to 360 family caregivers, delivered approximately 1,700 counseling hours, either in their homes or in our office, to 500 older adults, and provided information and assistance to 2,600 seniors. In addition, 1,282 seniors attended our various activities and programs. We provided 105 medical transportation trips to 21 seniors and made 6,513 wellness calls to 45 homebound seniors, and provided follow-up reevaluation to 200 elderly residents receiving Meals on Wheels. Brick Senior Services receives $135,100 in grant funding from the Ocean County Board of Chosen Freeholders. In addition, in 2017, we received an additional $5,000 in grant funding for our senior outreach program and an additional $3,000 towards our National Caregiver Support Program. In addition, we received $14,941.23 in donations. These funds are used to offset the costs involved in running this department. The last report is for the municipal court. The Brick Municipal Court is the second largest of the 33 municipal courts in Ocean County. Annual filings for 2017 were 16,103. This number consists of filings not only from Brick Police, but also State Police, the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, Division of Fish and Wildlife, Departments of Weights and Measures, Marine Police, the SPCA, Animal Control Officers, Code Enforcement Officers, Zoning Officers, Building Officials, and citizens for any incident occurring in Brick Township. Court sessions are held on the first Monday at 8:30, which is a new initiative started in 2017 specifically to address code violations, the third and fourth Mondays at 9 a.m., every Wednesday at 9 a.m., and every Thursday at 4 p.m. The public defender schedule is as follows: third and fourth Monday, the first, second, third, and fourth Thursday of each month. In addition, a public defender also video conferences with incarcerated defendants on the first, second, and third Tuesday of each month at 10 a.m. The public defender will now be required to represent detained indigent defendants being held for domestic violence, disorderly persons violations, where the defendant is appealing the detainment. In 2018, we project holding 143 court sessions. This total includes 10 mediation sessions and 11 code enforcement violation sessions. The staff consists of a court administrator, 2 deputy court administrators, and 7 additional staff members, along with the municipal court judge. The court salary and wage budget increased 3.7%, and the operating budget increased 4.9%, partially due to the increase in expert services for our language line for interpreter assistance. Any members of the council or the public that would like to go into more detail on these budgets is welcome to make an appointment with my office. Thank you again for all of your support, and a special thanks for the department and division heads who work so well in serving the public. That concludes my report.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mrs. Bergen.
Do you want to do my section first?
We can if you'd like. Get it over with. Any questions from the public? Or council first? Seeing none? Anybody from the public would like to ask a question on Mrs. Bergen's report? Seeing none, I'd like to invite Chief Riccio. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Ms.
Ms.
Bergen.
Bergen.
The Department of Public Safety is comprised of several areas of responsibility. In addition to traditional police services, the department is also responsible for the management of police dispatchers, special police, emergency medical services, emergency management, crossing guards, and a number of community-oriented programs such as Police Explorers, DARE program, Not Even Once program, Lead and Seed, CERT, Neighborhood Watch, and the Blue Heart program. As of tonight, the department is staffed with 269 employees. 140 of those are sworn officers, 21 full-time and 4 part-time communications operators, 26 full-time and 21 part-time EMS personnel, 19 crossing guards, 21 Class 1 special officers, 1 civilian deputy emergency management coordinator, 1 radio technician, 1 fleet maintenance worker, and 14 civilian clerical staff. Part-time staff members are used to support the full-time staff members, as well as to reduce overtime costs. In 2017, the department handled 86,280 calls for service, which is nearly 2,000 more calls than handled in 2016. This included 1,593 fire calls, 9,740 first aid calls, and our communications operators handled overtime budget in 2017 was $8,500. In 2018, we'll be asking for the same amount. The increase in monies for salaries and the fact that monies for overtime are remaining the same is that we anticipate returning to a full complement of 25 officers this year. The only other line item in the special police budget are for uniforms and equipment. In 2017, we allocated $15,000, and in 2018, we'll be reducing that line item to $5,775. The decrease is the result of us changing to a new variation of uniform, which I reported on last year. The next budget is emergency management. Last year, we budgeted $52,500 for OEM salaries. This year, we'll be allocating $54,500. It should be noted that a portion of the salary is paid for by grant monies, which are received at different times throughout the year. In 2017, we budgeted $2,000 for OEM overtime and only spent $194. So as a result, we'll be reducing the OEM overtime budget to $1,000. The only other item in the OEM budget is $500 used for training, which will remain the same. The next area is Police Explorers. The program currently has 20 participants who are overseen by 3 of our officers who are the program counselors. This program gives children of our community an opportunity to interact with the police in a positive way, while at the same time giving them the ability to see if they may want to pursue a career in law enforcement. In 2017, we budgeted for $4,800, and this year we are asking to increase that amount by $1,700. These monies will be used to send participants to the annual competition and to pay for things such as dues and uniforms. The next area to discuss is emergency medical services. Last year, we budgeted $1,415,000 in EMS salaries and $200,000 for overtime. It should be noted that the salaries for the part-time EMTs are charged to the overtime line item, but at a straight time rate, not at an overtime rate. This year, we're asking that $1,475,000 be budgeted for EMS salaries and $250,000 be allocated for EMS overtime. It should be noted that in 2017, EMS service generated $1,749,174.62 in net revenue, which is a $136,732 increase from what was allocated in the previous year. The 2018 EMS operating budget was funded at $275,900. Of that amount, $248,301 was expended, $27,572 less than what was budgeted. With what was collected in net revenue, it cost $296,849.44 to operate our EMS division. In 2018, we're asking that $279,000 be budgeted for the operating budget, which is a $4,000 increase from last year. The difference is to account for an anticipated increase in costs associated with the purchase of uniforms and first aid supplies. I have also tasked the Community Policing Division Commander and the EMS Director with looking at the current EMS schedule and changing it in order to reduce the amount of overtime being spent by the EMS Division. Minor changes which have already been made have saved our department over 170 hours of overtime in the month of February alone. I'm cautiously optimistic that those numbers will continue to grow and the amount that we spend on overtime will decrease. Additionally, we have met with state EMS officials and are working toward a plan to start a paramedic program. If we are successful, this would mean greater medical services for our citizens, as well as added revenue to support the program. Next are our crossing guards. Last year, we budgeted $399,100 in crossing guard salaries and $1,600 for overtime. In 2017, we're asking $430,000 be budgeted for salaries and $2,000 for overtime. The only other line item associated with the crossing guards is uniforms. We're asking that $10,500 be budgeted for uniforms, a $525 reduction from last year. That concludes my budget presentation for the department. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the mayor, members of the council, and the business administrator for their continued support. Without that, we would not be as successful a department as we are today. I would also like to thank the working men and women of my department who work very hard each and every day to keep our residents safe. And I would like to announce as a testament to that, one of our most successful programs has been our Blue Heart program. And
Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. That's amazing work, as always. Council, any questions for the chief about his budget presentation? Public, do you have anything? Yes.
Give name and address?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Sam Foster, Chico Drive, Brick. First I want to say that I wanted to congratulate the Brick police officers on their good work with the major drug bust announced recently. That always shows what they can do when they're properly utilized, so great work for them. Street cops do a great job out there. I have a couple questions for the chief, mostly about spending issues. I didn't mention it hear it mentioned in the budget, but I wanted to ask about this. Years ago, I know that we had the police department has what they called, it's called different things, but a SWAT team. I want to know if we still have a SWAT team in the Brick Police Department. And I want to know, I know that the Ocean County Sheriff's Department also has a SWAT team, so I mentioned this during Ocean County Freeholder meeting, so I'm going to bring it up here as well. My concern is if the SWAT team is justified in terms of taxpayers' money, since our tax money is paying for one with the Sheriff's Department, one with the Brick Police Department. I want to know from the chief if you could tell us if he has a breakdown, because I didn't hear it in the budget, how much money is being spent on the Brick SWAT team. Does he have any figures for that?
Not exact figures in front of me. If you want my office, I can give it to you. But I know that the overtime associated with the SWAT team call-outs is usually somewhere around 40,000. Equipment, it varies. That varies.
And with equipment, you were also talking about the, I went to Wynwood Beach years ago with a presentation, and they had the weapons that the police have. Does the Brick Police Department still have the grenade launchers and the sniper rifle that I saw on display at Wynwood Beach? You do? I wanted to know if the Brick SWAT team participates in the same national training events that the Ocean County Sheriff's Department SWAT team participates in. They do? What is the ranking as far as the Brick SWAT team as far as vis-a-vis the Sheriff's Departments? Because I know that the Sheriff's Department SWAT team has won awards for their participation. Has the Brick SWAT team won any awards that comparable to the Sheriff's Departments? I asked you if the Sheriff's Department Brick SWAT team participates in the same events as the Sheriff's Departments. That would include. Well, that would include training and also the awards. Where they have competitions where they participate against SWAT teams nationwide, and you said that they participate in the same thing. Minor point. So you don't.
Sir, do you have any questions on the actual budget?
Yes, that's what I was getting about.
Please get to the
The question I'm
on the
having is the question I want to know is how can the SWAT team be justified in Brick Township when we have tax money being spent on two SWAT teams? Lakewood does not have a SWAT team. They have a higher rate of murder than Brick Township does. And we have a perfectly fine SWAT team with the Sheriff's Department that has won national awards in training. Chief just admitted that the Brick Police don't participate in that same kind of a training program. So from a taxpayer
He
standpoint...
said they participate in the same trainings, they just don't do the different competitions.
Yes, but the competitions are part of the training procedures. I was at the Sheriff's, the County Freeholders meeting, and they do mention, and I've spoken to Chief Mastronardi, now Sheriff Mastronardi, and that's... So the point I'm trying to make is our tax money is being spent on two different SWAT teams, and I wanted to know how it can be justified in the township since we have so much trouble with the budget. And I wanted to know if the chief can give me, I don't know if anybody else is concerned with this issue or not, but I am, but I wanted to know if the chief can tell how often is the Brick SWAT team used when that same response could not have been done by the Ocean County Sheriff's Department SWAT team.
We are a town of the size where I don't think we need to rely or should rely on any other department to be available for us. Our team is always available, and our team is used regularly with our drug unit and all the search warrants that they execute to make sure that they're done safely, tactically. And we are not going to rely on another department to make sure that that's carried out. Also, the Ocean County SWAT team is there
question I had was, since we've already paying tax money to the sheriff's department, now the chief is saying that you don't want to rely on other departments, but that we do rely on other departments. And the point I'm trying to make is, this has been a source of contention for me, is that our tax money is financing 2 SWAT teams. I also want to know from the chief if you could tell me how many towns in Ocean County have their own SWAT team besides Brick Township. Well, if you don't know, then how can you say that, you just said that there are other towns, that the sheriff's department provides SWAT team response for towns that don't have their own SWAT team. But as far as I know, it's only Brick Township and Ocean County. Well, I'd appreciate that, but I think you should have done the research before you came into the meeting. This is a budget hearing. You should have anticipated there would be questions. I mean, how prepared are you? Well, I will, fine. I've spoken to you in private,
Mr.
you're the same way.
Foster, let the chief answer.
I will.
Now.
But I don't like,
Thank you.
I don't like being given a runaround, which is what I've been getting from them.
Chief, please answer the question. Thank you.
I'm responsible for Brick Township. That's what I care about. I'm not worried about other towns. I'm not worried about what other towns do, or how they staff them, or how they feel that it's about the needs of their department. I worry about Brick Township. And I feel that Brick Township needs its SWAT team because the size of town it is, types of incidents that we participate in, and the amount of work that the drug unit generates. As the chief of the department, again, that's my belief, and while I'm here, continue to fund the SWAT.
I understand what you're saying, but the question I had was, from a taxpayer standpoint, which you didn't answer, you're telling me that the sheriff's department SWAT team is responsible for providing SWAT team coverage for towns that don't have their own SWAT team. Now, you're insinuating or stating is that other towns besides Brick have taxpayers paying the burden of 2 SWAT teams, which now you're backtracking from and saying, not. So I'm just trying to get a straight answer out of you. And I'm not trying to be belligerent towards him, but this is what he's like in private. And I want a straight
Chief,
answer.
He asked, or sorry, Mr. Foster, you asked the question.
Yes.
The chief answered the question. Your 5 minutes is up.
Not to my
Please sit
satisfaction, but
down.
I'll take this up later on.
Please sit down. Thank
I
you.
understand he's an appointment of the mayor, and you're a very Democrat like him, so you're covering up, so I
Sir,
understand.
it's just common courtesy. He
Well,
asked, you
that
asked.
hasn't been shown to me over the
He
years
answered. Please sit down now.
by people either, you know.
Thank you. Mr.
You're welcome.
Finelli?
It's a little tough to hear back there, some people. I just want to clarify a couple of points from the presentation. In the beginning, you gave a total increase of your budget. Could you give me that again? Was it 5.2%?
Salaries. The main police salary.
Was 5.2%, and that went up how many thousands of dollars?
884.
884.
884.
Okay. 884. Did you, during the presentation, give a total of what you're asking for? And I realize this is what you're asking for, doesn't necessarily mean it's what you're gonna get. But bottom line, this year against last year, how much did you asking for more or less?
In salaries, I don't have.
No, not salaries, total. Your total budget last year, you spent X amount of money. How much more are you asking for this year, or less? Do you have that number?
For our operating budget, it was actually about $1,500 less. The salaries that went up, and I don't have the actual percentage now.
Okay, so the total budget is going down? The
Our operating expenses, not the salaries, or other operating expenses.
Let me ask my question again.
I don't have, if you're asking me, I can get that for you, Mark. If you're asking me the total amount that it costs to run the police department above, for this year,
Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking.
call my office in the morning.
Okay. Did it go up or down, or do you not know?
It went up, the salaries went up. It went up with salaries, it went up.
Okay. I got the salaries piece, I want the total.
Yeah, I'll give that.
Okay. You mentioned that you requested over $1 million in overtime?
Yes,
What was the exact number again?
1,125,000.
All right, we'll say 1 million. Okay. And the last question, the new officers that we hired today, Are they all net additions, replacements, some of the above, or what?
They are additions.
They're all additions. So we went, the last time I looked, we had 105 patrolmen, so now we have 109.
Well, the total department is 130, was 136, it's now 140.
Okay. And the only ones you hired was patrolmen. So that's a net add for patrolmen. Was there a reason that we needed 4 more? I was kind of surprised that this was on the agenda tonight. I don't know, was it discussed at past meetings that we were hiring 4 patrolmen? Because I didn't hear it, and when I checked with my cohort, he was shocked that we were hiring 4 people today. Has this been discussed in the past?
I've discussed it at my January 1st reorg, and then after that, if we're going to hire a number of officers over the next couple of years, we had to take a look at the budget and see how many we could budget in for this year, which the number came out to be 4.
So, you just said, you discussed it in the next couple of years you were gonna hire people, but in fact, we just hired them now, so it's not really the next couple of years, it's like right now?
Right now, we hired 4, correct?
And there's still gonna be more after this?
Over the next couple of years, as the department evolves and what requests come in, yes.
When's it gonna stop? When are we gonna have enough?
I can't answer that question. I'd
Okay.
know the lottery numbers if I knew that.
And the patrolmen that we hired today, 2 of them are going right out at the street, so they're getting full salary for a starting patrolman or something more than what you get in the academy, right?
They're getting more than the academy, yes.
Yeah, they're not gonna get full salary.
I don't mean top salary, I mean salary where, somewhere beyond where the starting salary for patrolman once he comes out of the academy.
Yes.
And where is that money coming from? Next year's budget or this year's budget?
It's budgeted in this year's budget.
Okay. I guess when we see the final budget, I'll have more questions. Again, if I understand this correct, each person that comes up here, this is what they're requesting. It doesn't necessarily mean what they're gonna get, right?
These are the budget presentations, correct? They didn't vote on the budget yet. Hasn't even been presented yet.
So that's a yes, this is just what they're requesting?
Correct. That's correct.
Sometimes it's hard to get an answer. Thank you.
You don't ask the right question.
Anybody else? Seeing none, close public comments, please. We are going to move on to our consent agenda. Madam Clerk?
All matters
Thank you,
listed.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 5-1, authorize receipt of proposals, alternate conflict code enforcement prosecutor. This resolution authorizes receipt of proposals for alternate and conflict code enforcement prosecutor. The township has a court day, which you just heard in the business administrator's presentation, once a month for property maintenance violations. We are receiving bids for an alternate and conflict prosecutor specifically for the once-a-month code court. This was not on the pool of professionals done in January, but it is a good idea to have a pool in place in the event where there is a conflict and a need for the alternate. Resolution 5-2, authorize receipt of bids, printing services. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for printing services for township forms such as letterhead, envelopes, business cards, UCC forms, etc. Resolution 5-3, authorize receipt of bids, general athletic equipment and supplies. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for general athletic equipment and supplies that covers numerous categories, including but not limited to general athletic equipment, summer camp supplies, preschool games, etc. Authorize 5-4, Resolution 5-4, authorize receipt of bids, roadway improvements to Bluffview. Mayor?
Thank you. This is one of the most highly requested streets on my Facebook Live for sure, so luckily we're going out to bid. The resolution authorizes receipt of bids for the Bluffview Road Improvement Project. It includes resurfacing and drainage improvements at Eagle View Ridge, Paramount Way, and Point View Road. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Resolution 5-5, authorize award of bid of seasonal turf chemical application program. This resolution authorizes award of bid of seasonal turf application to Meticulous Landscaping. This resolution, in Waretown. The contract provides for 4 weed control and fertilizer applications per year for approximately 70 total acres per application at 15 locations, including township parks, recreational facilities, and the municipal complex. It begins with an early spring soil test at each location to determine the proper amount of each. There is an early and late spring application and an early and late fall application. This is a unit bid price with a cost per application based on the seasonal treatment not to exceed $55,000 for the 2-year contract period. 25 bidders were notified, of which 11 received bid packages. Bids were received from 6 bidders. Resolution 5-6, authorize award of bid landscape maintenance services at Solar Field. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for landscape maintenance services at the Solar Field to on-site landscape management in Millstone at an amount not to exceed $17,789 per year for the 2-year contract. 59 potential bidders were notified, of which 11 picked up bid packages. Bids were received from 6 bidders ranging from $35,578 to $103,200. Resolution 5-7. Did you like that one, Mr. Gross? Oh, yeah. 5-7. Authorize award of bid, manufacturer and printing tax bills. This resolution authorizes award of bid for the manufacturing and printing of tax bills to Vital Communications in Trenton. This is a 1-year contract not to exceed $23,500. Bid notices were mailed to 24 prospective bidders and 4 picked up bid packages. 1 bid was received. Vital Communications has prepared and printed the bills for 2016 and 2017 tax years. Resolution 5-8, authorize award of proposal alternate conflict public defender. This resolution authorizes the appointment of alternate public defender to a pool of professionals that includes Charles P. Tiverton, Dasty Murphy, McGuckin, Euclid, Kotsaris, and Connors, and Destribats, Campbell, Staub. Sorry if I butchered any of those names, which I'm sure I did. For conflict public defender, an award is being made to the pool of professionals that submitted, including Charles P. Tiverton, Dasty Murphy, McGuckin, Euclid, Kotsaris, and Connors, Destribats, Campbell, Staub. These firms have met all the administrative requirements and have qualifications and experience to provide this service to the township. Resolution 5-9, authorize sale of surplus property auction 2018-4 Public Works vehicles. This resolution authorizes the sale of surplus property for a variety of public works vehicles no longer needed for public use. For this auction, we will utilize the services of U.S. Gov Bid. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs has approved this company as provider of online auction service for the sale of surplus property. Resolution 5-10, authorize sale of surplus property at auction 2018-5 police forfeiture vehicles. This resolution authorizes the sale of surplus property for a variety of police forfeiture vehicles. For this auction, we will utilize the service of U.S. Gov Bid. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs has approved this company as a provider of online auction service for the sale of surplus property. Resolution 5-11, authorize special event permit, P.J. Sweeney St. Patrick's Day event. This resolution authorizes the special events permit for P.J. Sweeney's to conduct a St. Patrick's Day event on March 17th between the hour of 8 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. at the restaurant on Brick Boulevard. Resolution 5-12, authorize special event permit, USA Softball National Championship event. This resolution authorizes a special event permit for a USA Softball National Championship event on August 31st through September 3rd, 2018 at the Drum Point Sports Complex between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Resolution 513, bond releases and reductions. Madam Clerk?
Yep, 513A is an inspection fund release for Block 295, Lot 1, 75 Woodland Drive, in the amount of $127.36.
Thank you. Resolution 514, tax collector. Mrs. Bergen?
Thank you. 14A, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 341, Lot 468, in the amount of $2,478.16. 14B, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 1192.11, Lot 31, in the amount of $237.30. 14C, amend Resolution Number 12318, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 382.39, Lot 2, in the amount of $2,568.78. 14D, exempt property refund and cancel taxes for Block 213.08, Lot 1, Pinecrest Drive, in the amount of $17.68. 14E are tax overpayments for the year 2008. 14F are tax overpayments for the year 2009. 14G are tax overpayments for the year 2010. 14H are tax overpayments for the year 2011. 14I are tax overpayments for the year 2012. 14J are tax overpayments for the year 2014. 14K are tax overpayments for the year 2014. Let me clarify, 14J was for 2013. 14L is state tax appeal granted of Block 88.01, Lot 13, 74 Brower Drive, in the amount of $6,409.39. And 14M is a state tax appeal granted for Block 92.04, Lot 4 through 7, 7 Twilight Drive, in the amount of $2,889.48.
Thank you very much. That concludes our consent agenda. Open to council. Seeing none, can I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Pontorero, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to public for questions on the resolutions. Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now we have Resolution 515, Bill Resolution, Computer 2018.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $1,038,100.66.
Very good. Open to council. May I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fosman, second by Councilwoman Zapsik. Open to public for questions or comments. Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Abstain on New Jersey press media, and yes to the rest.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Abstain on CME Associates and yes to the rest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 516, Bill Resolution Manual 2018.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,667,656.49.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none. Motion and a second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Halloran, second by Vice President Crate. Open to public. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Abstain CME Associates, yes to the rest.
Thank you.
Now we're on our ordinance on first reading. No public hearing on the first reading. Amend Chapter 245 Land Use Camp Osborne Overlay Zone.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Township Code of the Township of Brick so as to amend Chapter 245 entitled Land Use as to amend Chapter 245-144B captioned Beach Cottage Community Conditional Use and to establish Chapter 245-298.3 Conditional Use Requirements applicable to the Beach Cottage Community Conditional Use.
Glad you read that and not me. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. The administration, myself, the Land Use Committee, we all recognize the variances through the Board of Adjustment should only be for true exceptions to our zoning and not for everyday improvements. In the case of the proposed developments at Camp Osborne, a change in zoning is more appropriate to identify the best zoning for this residential area. By introducing the proposed ordinance, we will now ask the Township's Planning Board to review and provide recommendations if the proposed zoning is consistent with good planning. There are 3 Camp Osborne areas covered by this ordinance: the Bayside, the Median Strip, and the Ocean Side. All 3 areas had units destroyed by Sandy. They have been working for 5 years on a plan to rebuild these areas. Once the Planning Board completes its review, the Council will then take further action based on the Planning Board's recommendations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Who was that? Motion by Councilwoman Ponterero, second by Councilman Halloran. Open to council? Nothing? Closed council, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ponterero.
Yes.
President DeYoung.
Yes. Now we have resolution 7-1. We have ordinance on second reading. Amend chapter 245, affordable housing.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, repealing and replacing Chapter 245, Part 2, Article 5, Affordable Housing, to the Code of the Township of Brick to address the requirements of the New Jersey Superior Court.
Thank you. The township has an approved settlement agreement in place that requires us to address certain items in that agreement via ordinance. We started the process by attempting to modify our existing affordable housing ordinance, but found the modifications to be so significant that we are instead opting to start fresh. The township was provided with a model ordinance by the special master, which has been reviewed, modified as necessary, and approved by our affordable housing attorney, affordable housing planner, and township planner. It is our intent to repeal the existing ordinance and replace. According to the settlement agreement, we need to have the ordinance and other documents in place by March 17th, which is the deadline to submit these documents to the court master. The Township's Planning Board reviewed and approved the fair share and housing plan element on February 28th. The ordinance has nothing to do with the number of affordable housing units. It sets guidelines for how we regulate standards, the collection of affordable housing fees, and the administration of affordable housing fees. The old ordinance has not been updated since 1991, and we were long overdue for becoming compliant with state guidelines for affordability criteria. The draft ordinance also increases the number of years a unit remains affordable from 20 to 30. We also included language regarding the scattered site program and outlines our strategy to continue to implement a diverse and vibrant affordable housing program through the Scattered Site Initiative, which identifies existing homes in neighborhoods across Brick Township. In terms of fees, in accordance with the state statute, we are increasing the affordable housing fees on commercial properties from 2 to 2.5%. The residential affordable housing fee will stay at 1%. We also refined the list of what's allowable under the criteria to be charged an affordable housing fee and what's exempt. For example, in this ordinance, we're exempting sheds, pools, and decks. Basically, any project that's expanding living space stays in as allowable and everything else is out. We are not expecting to see a reduction in affordable housing revenue as a result of the new exemptions because the commercial is increasing. Also, in this draft ordinance, nonprofits are exempt. Previously, nonprofits were required to come before council to request an exemption. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Ponterero, second by Councilman Halloran. Any questions or comments by council? No? Open to public? Yes, Ms. Call?
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Do you really consider this a hearing on that changes you're making, don't you think it would have required a presentation at length explaining everything that you just briefly outlined? There's a whole lot in the details that we're not getting.
Councilwoman
Yes.
President DeYoung, if I may, there was an extensive hearing with input from our planners down at the planning board. This ordinance was a
Excuse me.
May I please finish? Thank you. This ordinance was a recommendation from, this council sent it to the planning board specifically to have a detailed review and make a recommendation back to them in accordance with the agreement that we made for fair share housing. Whether you agree that that's sufficient or not is another point, but that's the process.
This is the town council meeting. This is for the public at large to get the details of it. What the planning board recommends has no impact on us since we don't attend it, we don't watch it, we don't see it. It is the public you're supposed to be informing about all these things, and I have an intense interest in the affordable housing aspects of the township. I don't consider this anywhere near sufficient information. There should have been a planning board member here with some type of videos that show on a PowerPoint type presentation exactly what's being put in. It's a brand new ordinance. It doesn't exist till we see it, and we should have the opportunity to comment on it and okay it.
Anybody else? Yes?
Sam Foster, Chico Drive. I agree with Ms. Colley. I think that because this is an issue that was first initiated with the planning board, we should have some type of hearings that would be available to the public in general, because of the fact that not all planning board meetings are televised like these council meetings are. We know when the council meetings are going to be heard. We can either record them off on YouTube or on the township's website. And I just think it would be better for informing the public if it was better organized.
Anyone else? Seeing none, close public. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Debsick.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilman Fosman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero. President DeYoung.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now on to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Yes.
Sam Foster, Chico Drive, Brick. Quick couple comments. I don't know if I'm going to get an answer to them or not, but here goes. I'm going to be as uncontroversial as possible here. But when I have the question, this isn't really something I want to bring up with the chief of police, because it really is something that the council would be really in charge of, and that is because of the problems I've been having over the years in not being able to file a complaint against Brick Police. This is going back to 2004, actually, so it's an ongoing issue, so I'm not going to take it out on any of the current members of the administration, not the mayor, not the township attorney, or the council members. But I wanted to know if I attended a event at Asbury Park Press's headquarters, protecting the shield or something like that, and we had two members of the New Jersey legislature and a civil rights lawyer speaking during the panel, and also the public was there, also some members of law enforcement. The question I have is if the township could consider something along the lines of a civilian complaint review board that would be examined or looked into, whatever the term is called. I'm a little bit tired, so so that if someone has a complaint against the police, it would not go through the police department, since they have a potential conflict of interest. That's the problem I'm having right now with my issues, which I know all of you are aware of, with the former Brick cop who libeled me on Facebook, and I'm getting a big problem with that right now. Yeah, that's one thing. I want to know if that could be considered, or if that is something that really has to be done at the state level. I don't know if the township attorney would know, or but that's something that I feel is very important. This is something that was also discussed during the Asbury Park Press's event, when we had two members of the New Jersey legislature there. So I'll just stop at that point. I want to get an answer to that, because I have one other point also. similar grounds. Township Attorney, or if anybody who would be qualified to respond to that does Brick Township. I know New York City has a civilian complaint review board, but they're a large city. Does Township of Brick have, under New Jersey law, the authority to have a civilian complaint review board?
That I wouldn't know. We would have to do research.
It would have to be researched. Would the Township Attorney know?
Mr. Keneally?
I've never been asked to look at that by any administrator or any other town.
Okay, because I brought this out during a different administration when I had trouble with the then detective field at that time. I'm not going to go into details, but you already know, everybody already knows about it. And I was given a run around then, and I brought it, that was when Dugard was chief of police. And internal affairs was not helpful at all. That's one thing. Second point is on the same subject is years ago we used to have a public safety director who was a civilian, not police. And again, this was so that we had citizens that could go to someone if they had a complaint against the police department, no matter what it was, and they could go outside the chain of command with the police so that there was no conflict of interest or favoritism. And I wanted to know if the township, I'm going to state, based upon my experiences with the runaround I'm being given by the police, not just Brick, but also the prosecutor's office, they really don't want to hear about me being victimized by a police officer. Chief Riccio told me that he considered it to be petty. And to me, this isn't something that petty. When a police officer, former police officers on the internet slandering me, that's not a petty issue. But that's why, I'm angry with him, because he won't give me, he does not take it seriously. And I think it's because I'm complaining against the police officer. Maybe I'm overreacting, but if you're in my position, I think you would understand why. But if there was a public safety director like we had years ago, I think that it would at least reassure people that you could go to someone that is not in the chain of command with the police, not friends with the police, and I know that the former detective field is still friends with the members of the police department. I just feel that would be better from the standpoint of people's legal rights and reassuring them that we would have another outlet to go to rather than going through legal authorities. Again, this was mentioned by the New Jersey legislature representatives during the Asbury Park Presses event. It was something that was discussed. And bigger cities like New York do have a civilian complaint review board, but like I said, you don't know if that would be applicable to Brick. But the public safety director, I feel, is something that we should look into so that we could have another chain of command. So that in my situation, I tried to file against Detective Field when he's an officer, and I got a runaround. And the only person that really gave me any help in town was the township clerk, Virginia Lampman. But she was limited in her authority, so I just want to bring that to your attention. That's all. I'll stay here until you get an answer.
Madam President, if I may, I certainly would defer to our township council as to the applicability in our town. However, we do have, Mr. Foster, a public safety committee. And I'm actually the chairperson of the Public Safety Committee.
I didn't know that.
We have James Fosman is on the committee, Andrea Zapsek is on the committee, and we've been serving in such capacity for a substantial period of time. So there is an avenue if a citizen feels that there's something wrong or something right.
Yeah.
That would be something that you could direct to the attention of the Public Safety Committee.
I thank you for that. That reassures me. So I'll just contact you. I'll send you the email with a letter about what's been going on in town, my problems, and because I like it. Even though you're a politician, even though you're a politician, that's a joke. That's a joke.
I'm a citizen.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
But I do appreciate that. That I've been through a lot over the years. It's been going on since 2004. So thank you very much. I'll send you a letter. Thank you very much.
Next, Mr. Sluka.
Watch the wire. Talk to the civilian complaint review board.
Going to read my letter from March 7th. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Heather DeYoung, all Brick councilmen, councilwomen, another day, another week, another month, and another year. Seniors in Brick are dying prematurely. Children in Brick are developing severe cases of asthma. Mothers-to-be in Brick are breathing in toxins
that impact their yet-to-be-born children. Autism in Brick is at one of the highest rates in the country, and no one can stop the bureaucrats of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority from receiving their benefits, their pay, and their bonuses. The question must arise, can the people's representatives in the town, county, and state do anything to help the citizens of the land, or do the bureaucrats yield such power, along with their power brokers, lobbyist allies, do they really control the state? The health problems of the residents multiply while the political groups seem ineffective in dealing with large bureaucracies that seem to run this state. Pretty much everyone knows that the noise and toxins that are flowing off the Garden State Parkway are harming the health of the everyday citizens of Evergreen Woods, the whole of Brick Township, and in fact the entire corridor related to the shore community alongside the Garden State Parkway. But nothing ever gets attempted or done by the political class of the state. No one knows if threats of lawsuits will bring the bureaucrats of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to the table, but it has been nearly 5 years of misery forced upon the residents of by these commissioners. No one knows if continued communications with the governor will yield any solace to the residents, but the lives of the residents are continually negatively impacted. A 14-foot noise, safety, and pollution wall is needed to salvage some of the well-being of the citizens, and although not a cure-all, it can be a good first step in correcting the abuse forced upon tens of thousands of residents in this area. Trees and brush that were destroyed by the decisions of the commissioners of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority can never be completely replaced. The environmental devastation that was created by the decisions of these commissioners can never be undone, but legal action may at least get them to put up the attention of by these same commissioners and show that the political leaders, the people's representatives, at least support and care for the citizens of their communities. We have heard from the governor that he cares for residents in some areas of the state, but not a word has come from him as to the citizens of the shore community that borders the Garden State Parkway. I guess it is possible that he cares more for the residents in the cities that voted him into power, but he swore to help all the citizens when he took office, so maybe, just maybe, communications from our more local representatives will garner some interest in the plight of the citizens from the shore area. It is time, and in fact well past time, that the towns and county representatives take the legal steps that might aid the residents of the community. We can no longer wait for the powerful lobbyists and the representatives on the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to do what once one of the council members years ago said they would do the right thing. People are dying prematurely. Children are getting sicker by the day. And more children yet to be born are suffering ill effects of the toxins forced upon their mothers by the commissioners of the authority. It is time that the people's representatives stand up for the people and take action against all these power brokers. The people need your support. Thanks again for your time. John Sluco, 950 Sylvia Courts, because I didn't mention it, and I yield back 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Sluka. Mrs. Briggs? Very good job for getting recognized on the mayor's Facebook Live.
I was very surprised. I'm going to be jumping around because I was jotting things down as I was watching the meetings the past 2 weeks. As most people know, I watch the meeting 3 times a week. This meeting was extremely entertaining because one person would be talking, but the voice would be somebody else.
Oh, yeah, it was not. I have to agree with you on that.
It was like a
Yes, it was messed
it
up
was
'cause
like
I
a
went and looked
ventriloquist
too.
act.
Yes.
You were speaking, and it was Mr.
It was
Fosman's voice.
pointing at- Yes, or yes. Mhm.
Or if somebody was talking and there was nobody at the podium. That I found the best.
Yes.
So bear with me. One of the things, watching at home, there were 2 ladies that got up at the last meeting after the chief had made his presentation, and they were talking about they did the program at Sawmill. The other one did the one at the high school. I didn't follow what that had to do with Chief's presentation. And they just went on and on and on. I think they should have been stopped because it wasn't involving the chief saying we need more sergeants, lieutenants, or captains.
A lot of those programs are what would be considered preventative, so that's why.
But that had nothing to do with you promoting somebody to a captain or a lieutenant or a sergeant.
No, but it's a reason why we were having the ordinance that we were doing. Because we
Well,
are expanding
then I
our
don't
community
understand
policing.
what promoting somebody from a patrolman to a sergeant to a lieutenant, or a lieutenant to a captain would have to do with the program at Sawmill or the program at the high school.
Because we needed more sergeants to cover the community policing, all of the bike patrol, the different programs, the DARE, the Lead and Seed, the Thrive
no.
program.
We're only going to promote 2.
Yes.
And plus, the lady from the school, she didn't even have the facts about the kid in Parkland correct.
Okay.
So she annoyed me. Regarding Evergreen, Mr. Sluka was just reciting all his facts. I wonder if Mr. Sluka knows that in 1999, Bricktown was the autism capital. That was way before the parkway was started to be increased or worked on. I wonder, as a resident, what Evergreen Woods Association is doing for their residents. Do they contribute anything to this wall? Do they go out and lobby for it? Where does he get his information? I'm a senior. Every time he says I'm going to die, I get a little pang of, is today my day? Stop giving me information without facts behind it. I've asked that many times. He asked the last time regarding the police. He said, why does this program in the schools run from September to June? I don't think that's hard to figure out. School is closed July, August, and September. The band is not at the school all year long or all summer. They're there for a matter of weeks. The schools are closed. It's not like 40 years ago when the schools had programs where the kids went to it. They don't have that anymore. Okay. Now we're getting to things that really bother me. I go through a lot of strip malls. Not for fun, but I shop in different stores. The parking lots are like the craters of the moon. Is there anything on the books that says a strip mall or a shopping center has to keep up their parking lots? Or are they, I'll be free to admit that I've gotten letters saying my grass is too high. I have to cut it. My grass being too high isn't going to cost anybody money if they drive in a hole. Do we have anything that says they have to keep it up? Is there anything that says, for example, Pathmark has been closed for 3 years? Why does the sign still say Pathmark? Is the owner of that shopping center? I'm not going to be nasty. I'll be nice.
We're hopeful.
The what?
The signs up there, we're hopeful.
Well, Pathmark has gone out of business, so they're never going to open up there again. But there's a lot of shopping centers like that that list stores that don't exist. Okay. Now, people speaking out from the audience, I'm sitting home watching it. I have no idea what they're saying because they're not at a microphone. People in the audience giving answers don't have a microphone. I don't know what they're saying. I feel like I have to be here because I miss half the things that get said. And I think it's just as easy to say, come up to the microphone or don't speak from the audience, period. My next to last thing is there any way that we could have the Summerfest shows put on B20?
We would
We
have
can
to
look
look
into
into
it.
that, yeah. There
So
might be
what?
copyright stuff too, we would have
But
to
we're
look
paying
into.
for it.
We would have to look into it.
Because that could be something that could be put on B20 to fill in the gaps of,
You pay initially for the performance, and only for that performance. After that, there's music licensing that you have to pay for to repeat it.
We will look into it.
okay.
You never get out of your house then, you gotta come down, get out.
Well, I've thought of it because it's been brought up at different times about the fact, I mean, I sit watching B20 waiting for a meeting to come on, and I watch the slides over and over and over again. And I have to say, most of them I can't read, but there are other things besides this meeting and the Board of Education meeting that could be put on to let the people know what's going on. Fill in the time, and maybe we can get another station. Okay, I already said the recordings have been terrible. I don't know what the problem is with this new system, but the last time, Heather, you closed the meeting, and 22 seconds later, it was still going on. So, no, it doesn't happen. You weren't talking, you were still talking, but you had finished talking on the recording.
Nothing was meant.
It wasn't together.
We'll look into that.
Okay, thank you.
But from our public information officer, he said it's high def, so like YouTube works fine, iPads work fine, computers, high def TVs, but the slower TVs, they're trying to work out the kinks, the regular TVs.
Thank you.
Nobody can hear you.
Hi, it's Michelle Spector, 808 Janney Court in Brick.
Talking from this.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to thank the mayor for sending the letter to Hulsefield's office to get us a meeting with the governor, a representative from the governor for our issues. I appreciate that. And to please stay after them. Call them once a week so you get a response. And I wanted to just read something. This is called Living Near a Highway is Terrible for Your Health. 1 in 10 Americans do it. This is just a very short little clip here. The worst air quality in the United States can be found within 5 football fields of any highway where 1 in 10 Americans live. Millions of Americans breathe this air every day, and as a result, they suffer from an increased risk of cardiac disease, according to a new study from researchers at Tufts University and Boston University. Study slated for publication, blah, blah, looked at ultrafine pollutants from car exhaust rather than the large pollutants that are traditionally the focus of air quality research. Researchers found that high concentrations of ultrafine particles 500 times smaller in diameter than the width of human hair are just as toxic as larger particles. While larger particles settle in the lungs, these particles penetrate into the bloodstream, causing inflammation and elevated cholesterol levels. Chronic exposure can cause dangerous plaque buildup in the arteries and eventually lead to heart attack or stroke. Researchers control for age, gender, body fat, health indicators like whether someone smoked, and it goes on and on. So it's dangerous to your health. It's not just for children, it's for adults too. Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Finelli.
Just so we're keeping track, this is the second time we've had video problems. The first time, the whole meeting didn't get done. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but it really needs to be fixed. 2 quick questions. Do we have a final date when we're going to have the final budget presentation?
The budget is being introduced at the next council meeting on the 27th, and it will be adopted at the end of April.
Okay, so March 27th, you're presenting it, and the end of April it goes into effect?
Introduction at the next council meeting, adoption at the end of April.
Okay. And will you have all the information that you need to do that budget, or will there be pieces missing, like state aid or something like that? I don't know if the township. I know that the school board as it stands right now, has to present their budget to the state before the state tells them how much money they're giving, which to me is ridiculous.
Well, we'll have enough to introduce the budget, but it could change between introduction and adoption if there's any new information that we receive.
And, okay. Give me an example of what would cause that.
Any unanticipated revenue that came in that we were not anticipating at the time of introduction, or any information of tax rates that were not yet certified.
Okay, so it could be more money coming in or less?
Any changes can be
Okay.
done between introduction and adoption.
All right, so you answer my question is that it's really not cast in stone because you really don't know what kind of money you're gonna get?
No, what we're introducing a budget we feel fully confident on, but we recognize things occur, pieces of information come to you that you weren't aware of when you introduced, and as long as you bring that into the budget before you adopt, that's certainly okay to do that. So what we're introducing is what we fully expect to be our budget for for this year. I don't know how else to say it.
Okay, well, my own personal feeling,
I'll give you an example. Last year, or 2 years ago, we introduced a budget, and then we found out from the state that we were getting an essential services grant, and we modified between introduction and adoption to include that in our budget.
I would never have a problem with getting more money.
Of course not.
Right?
None of us will.
I would only have a problem getting less money.
Sure.
And, and if you go through all of this trouble to put a budget together because somebody says you have to have it in on time, but you don't have all the information to really do that,
We're in good
why
shape.
do it? I would just tell people, well, when you give me the information, I'll give you the information, but that's the flexibility. Some of my concerns was I watched the governor's presentation today on TV, right? And while it all sounds nice and lots of money coming to everybody, like increasing the school budget by $340 million, it ain't there. The money is just not there. So people will be expecting a lot of money, but they're not going to get it. I mean, it's just not there. And it's like everything else, it has to be passed. I mean, you can say that, but it still has to be passed. I don't know how much state aid you people get. I'm a lot more informed than what the school board gets. You answered my questions.
Thank you.
But that's it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Ms. Call?
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and this was totally unprepared to make any statement at this particular time. But something that has bothered me in the past and happened here tonight, particularly in regard to the second hearing on the housing, affordable housing. Somewhere in our code, and I have read it at one time from top to bottom, it references that these meetings should be following Robert's Rules of Order. Now, that's a specific parliamentary procedure. Even if it didn't mention it, it should be following some rules of order. The rules of order require that somebody move the item that is on the agenda, and no discussion, either by the council members or anyone else, should take place until there is a move and a second. Then it should be the council first to discuss it and then find out what we feel about it. You wait until you've already discussed it before. So please take a note and look at the recorded meeting as Ms. Briggs does and see it's backwards how you do it, and it's violating rules of order. As far as the same Miss Briggs, I can't help but mention her name. She'll get very upset, but that's okay, so am I. She absolutely had no right, and you had no right in allowing her to make adverse comments regarding Mr. Sluka. He is exercising his right to speak, and she is criticizing him. As far as questioning, does he know about the autism? Totally uncalled for. What is the association doing? The association has no place in doing it. The association has only the association, and the associations in this town don't know what their responsibilities are, nor exercise them. But it has nothing to do with the wall. The wall is ours. I live closer to that area that was impacted, not as close as Mr. Sluker and his grandchild or others, but close enough for it to influence my health problems. And a wall should have been there. I said it in the very beginning, and they went ahead without it. The council, who should be bringing our problems up the line to the higher levels of government, never do that. I have mentioned that in the past. Yes, you're looking at me, Councilwoman Pontorero. You weren't here when I mentioned these things. I'd like you to come next week. And how about we have a presentation on what are your responsibilities? What are you supposed to be doing? And do you honestly feel you're fulfilling them? The planning board is not a voting board. What they do, what they recommend, has nothing to do with the general public or what you're doing at this council meeting, at any council meeting. You are the ones who are supposed to vote. In order to do that, you are supposed to first educate yourself to all the details and then discuss it in front of us, not behind closed doors somewhere deciding what you think is best. March 17th, I can tell you very well, it's a very important day to me, and not because of my Irish heritage, which is part of it. But St. Patrick is gone. It will be 6.5 years since he went to heaven and left me a widow. So it's an important day to me, and it's always in my heart. And sometimes it's a heartache because he's not here with me. So you don't have enough time to know what you voted on. But then again, last meeting it was proven that the members of the council do not know the facts of what they vote on.
Anybody else? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen. Thank you. Mayor.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everybody know the Housing Authority will be accepting applications. It's from Monday, March 26th through Friday, March 30th of 2018. So a lot of people always ask me about when the Housing Authority list opens. It's open a very short period of time, 1 week, March 26th to March 30th. You can go to the website, www.brickha.org, and phone number 732-920-9400. Get yourself an application. Read Across America Day was at the Warren H. Wolf School on March 1st, and then I went over to Emma Havens and Lanes Mill Elementary Schools on March 2nd. I was lucky enough, the New Jersey Recreation and Parks Association dinner gave me an award for public service because of all the great work that our recreation department does. They specifically mentioned our parks, our teen center, our preschool, our recreation programs, and it just does a phenomenal job over in our recreation department, and they nominated me for the award, which is great. Thank you. Finally met with the county engineer. We had our yearly meeting. That was on March 8th, and we submitted our request for improvements to various county roads and drainage projects. We had our first youth initiative meeting with business leaders and youth professionals from around the county at our teen center on March 9th in order to have a better communication lines open, so people from the schools, we don't schedule a dance the same night they do, but also outside entities to let all kids know exactly what's going on here in Brick, so that more teen involvement and more children involvement can happen throughout our town. Marched in the Ocean County St. Patrick's Day Parade this past Saturday. It was a great event, nice and warm. It's probably the most attended I've seen in a long time over in Seaside, so fun day. Our next family movie night is Friday, March 23rd at 7 o'clock. The movie is Monster Truck. Also, that same night, on March 23rd, the PBA is hosting their Helping Hands basketball game at 7:30 p.m. at Brick Township High School in the East Gym. And it's our police department, or PBA, versus the high school football team. And all the proceeds go to benefit Carter Smith, who is a young resident with an unfortunate disease here in town. And so please come out and support 7:30, March 23rd at the Brick Township High School East Gym. And everybody, please have a happy St. Patrick's Day and be safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Keneally? Thank you. Madam Clerk?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Ms. Hart? Councilwoman Zapsik?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to thank our business administrator and our police chief for their budget presentations. They're very thorough and very informative. I want to congratulate our 4 new police officers and wish them well in their service to our town. I have a couple brief announcements. Friday night, this Friday, March 16th, will be the first ever and hopefully annual Teen Advisory Masquerade Ball at Wood Lake Country Club from 6:30 to 9 p.m. It's open to all teens in Brick Township. It's a fundraiser for the Teen Center. Tickets can be purchased in advance at brownpapertickets.com. It's $35 for students. And then there'll be a simultaneous adult event going on also in the country club for parents who don't want to want their children to participate but don't kind of want to go too far. And those tickets are $45. So it's a full dinner, both adults and teens, $35 for students, $45 for adults, and that's 6:30 to 9 p.m. Friday night, March 16th at Wood Lake Country Club. And then finally, our Township's annual Green Fair is coming up on April 21st. It will be at the Brick Township High School East Gym from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This year's theme is Renew, Reuse, Recycle. So in addition to the other wonderful things that will go on for the Green Fair, there's going to be an e-waste collection, which is you can bring your used computer parts, terminals, anything electronic that you want to get rid of. They'll take that collection there, and there's also a clothing drive that's going to be a fundraiser for BMAC. So the clothing truck will be there as well. So it's a great time to clean out your house, do some spring cleaning, get rid of the old winter clothes, pack them up, bring them over to Brick High on Saturday, April 21st, and leave them at the clothing drive. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran?
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to start by thanking the Girl Scout troop for their great job at leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's nice to see with Women's Month that the Girl Scouts got a chance to come up. It's usually the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts that are here. I wanted to thank Ms. Bergen and Chief Riccio for the great presentations. We appreciate your detail and making it clear to us as to how we're spending our money throughout the town. I want to thank the officers, the 4 new officers who were just brought onto the force. I wish them safe passage and safe journey in their duties. That job is dangerous, even if you're sitting in a parked car watching radar. I just want you to understand that we came very close to losing an officer this last week who was conducting radar surveillance out on the Barrier Island in our new district, newly formed district, which is very important. He was parked and a car lost control. It hit a pole, split it, and then hit the guardrail, flipped over, went into the air, and landed on top of the police car. Fortunately, just through the grace of God, Jay Halley, the officer who was in the patrol car, was uninjured, but certainly shaken. I was on site when just minutes after it happened, and I was really glad to see that he was fine. 2 new businesses in town, Pino's Palette, which if you want to improve your artistic skills in painting and drawing, you have an opportunity to go there for lessons and do a little group painting, along with, as they suggested, a little wine. I don't know how good the paintings will show up, but you have an opportunity to have little parties there. And also Paradise Pools, for anybody that has a pool. They do a great job of providing materials and pools and installations, so I hope you take advantage of them. And they are also a buy-in brick.
Paradise Pools, yes.
Paradise Pool is a new buy-in brick member, too. So that's all I have. Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you all are safe. Thank you.
Vice President Crate?
Yes, I'll be brief, but I did want to point out, Chief Riccio mentioned tonight that he, and I didn't know about it, I don't know that any of us knew, that he's going to Washington DC tomorrow to present our Blue Heart program. And I just have to say, I was at the PBA dinner a few weeks ago, and it was brought up, I believe the chief mentioned at that dinner as well, that he was at another function somewhere else in the state, and other officers from other districts and towns were approaching him about the success of our Blue Heart program. So whatever your opinion is of the expansion of the police department or how you feel about it, knowing the success of that program alone and how we've expanded into the Neighborhood Watch program and getting into Maple Leaf and, you know, the beginning of turning that around, I know that we're making the right choices up here. So I just want to commend our police department again for all that they do and congratulate Chief Riccio and everyone else for representing us tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mumolo?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Bergen. Thank you, Chief Riccio, for your presentations. Congratulations to our 4 new officers. Thank the Girl Scout Troop 1782 for coming in to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to also thank Mr. John Zingas and all the residents that came out on Sunday the 11th to clean up behind the Brick Library. They took away 17 bags of plastic and garbage and 4 tires. So it's nice to see the community coming out to help do some cleanup around town, and thank them all for that. I went to the grand opening of Falafel Brothers, another new business in the Top Tomato Plaza. The mayor was there, Councilman Fosman as well. Also did the grand opening of Pinot Palette, which Councilman Holleran, Councilman Fosman were at also. 2 new businesses in town. And that's it for me. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Councilman Fosman?
Thank you. First of all, I'd just like to say on March 6th that I did attend Paradise Pools ribbon cutting. They're in Buy and Brick. Neighborhood Watch meeting here in the A&B Town Hall for Lake Riviera. They had their Neighborhood Watch as well attended, and also Pinot Palette at 645 Brick Boulevard I attended. Falafel Brothers Restaurant, they're at Buy and Brick. And Blonde and Brunette Hair Salon on Route 88. What is it? Actually, they're friends of me and my wife's. They opened up a new salon there, and it was a great grand opening. The mayor was there too, and it was nice and well attended. I'd like to thank the Girl Scouts for coming out for the salute to the flag. Congratulations to all our new officers. I'd like to thank Joanne for her presentation and Chief Riccio for his presentation. But I see some citizens are concerned about, about hiring new officers and everything, but we have so many programs that were started since I've been here, and the mayor and the council. There's, the programs that we have is the DARE program, not even once, Lead and Seed, CERT, the Neighborhood Watch, a Blue Heart program. We got that program in Maple Leaf, thanks to Andrea. We have 5 officers in the schools. We have 2 new districts, Maple Leaf and also the Barrier Island. So all this is making our town much better. It was getting a little shabby back in the day, and now we're bringing the town back and getting all the community things going, and it's really working. It takes time. You have a DARE program. You're starting out with the young children. Then you're going into the not even ones in the Lead and Seed, so they're going right through high school with this program, and to give the kids the best shot that we can. And I'd just like to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Thank you.
Councilwoman Ponterero?
Yeah, I know it's been a long meeting, but I don't think it's Thanksgiving yet.
I'm ahead of myself.
I wanted to thank our Girl Scouts for coming out during Women's Month. I think it's of particular importance. Am I on?
Now you are.
Now I'm on. Everyone missed my joke, which was so funny. But thank you to our Girl Scouts who came out during Women's Month, which is a very important month for us to take notice of, especially given that we have in our township, a whole lot of women that are working for Brick to make Brick better, including our wonderful clerks and our secretaries and our staff and our BA and our councilwomen, and there are just women everywhere in Brick. And what great choices Mayor Ducey has made by entrusting so many important positions to us women. And I think it speaks volumes about the type of person that John Ducey is for appointing us or valuing us in the same manner that men are valued, especially in this day and age, because no matter what we may tell ourselves, the glass ceiling still exists in this country, and little steps are important, especially in coming from a year where we lost Helen Peck and we lost Angela Hibbert. It's important that our new crop of young women, like the Girl Scouts that we saw, come with us and bring their choices and decisions and new ideas and see that they can do and be anything they want to be. So I just wanted to thank our Girl Scouts and also just point out what may almost seem obvious, the large amount of females that we have operating the township of Brick. Happy St. Patrick's Day, happy St. Joseph's Day. I also wanted to say that it's very important that, yes, everyone be able to speak their mind and come to the podium and say what they feel. And it's important to thank people when they take efforts to help certain areas when a citizen approaches the dais with issues. I'm sure that Ms. Spector and Mr. Saluka would join in my thanks of the Brick government of helping Evergreen Woods in so many ways. And it hasn't accomplished what the mission of the residents that have come up to speak to us by way of a wall has been. But there have been great efforts and many meetings that have been held, specifically between the mayor and the people in charge of Evergreen Woods. Unfortunately, it's an association, or fortunately, however you look at it, and great efforts have been made. So I wanted to thank the people that took those efforts and even the most recent efforts to now have a meeting with the governor. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the results and still hopeful that more can be done. All of our residents should be respected when they're asking for things or making comments. So I think that's important to note. Apart from that, I think we got a lot of great information from Joanne Bergen and Chief Riccio. It's one thing to read the budget, it's another thing to hear it from a live individual. I'm very happy to hear that Ms. Bergen is making herself available for our private meetings, even with our public. To know that our town of over 75,000 people can offer that type of one-on-one communication is fabulous, as is our Facebook Live with another form of one-on-one communication. So I will thank everyone for coming out tonight. Look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. And just so everyone is aware, I did miss everyone at our last meeting. Unfortunately, I was suffering from double pneumonia. I had viral and bacterial pneumonia, partially as an effect of a compromised immune system from cancer. So I apologize for not being here. Please know that I always watch the videos, as do Melanie Briggs and a whole lot of other people, to make myself aware of what had occurred. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. I just want to thank the Girl Scouts for coming in and doing a great job with the flag salute, and Mrs. Bergen for her presentation on administration. Also, thank you for answering all of my questions in the budget book. And the chief, of course, doing a great presentation and encompassing everything that the police department does. Congrats and safe travels to our new officers. And of course, I have a buy and brick update. Maniloking Road Ale House has joined Buy and Brick, and they are offering a 10% rebate. I too was invited to do Celebrity Reading Day, which was, I look forward to it every single year. I had a first grade class over at Emma Havens. They were a lot of fun. And then I had a fifth grade class at Lanes Mill School, Mrs. Crawford's fifth grade class, and they had a lot of very interesting questions. So I want to thank them for inviting me. Wish everybody a very happy and safe St. Patrick's Day. Our next scheduled caucus public meeting is Tuesday, March 27th at 7 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn? Adjourned.